I've fallen quite behind in my unboxings lately, but this is one thing I'm very excited to unbox. It is a Cedar DNS2, which is probably, no, it definitely is my most extravagantly expensive purchase I've ever made. It's even more expensive than my motorbike is. But yeah, it's a very cool toy, tool. Cedar's quite well known for their noise reduction that they do, particularly like much more so in the high end. So like Aputure RX6 or now RX7 that's come out, that's very well known for its noise reduction plugin. Cedar is perhaps not quite as well known because it tends to more exist on the high end, but yeah, on bigger budget stuff, yes, Cedar's a very well known company. They're over in the UK, and yeah, they've been around for quite a few years, and they started out with sort of like a hardware thing, the run of mains power, and it's something you would have like set up on your rack in the studio, and that's sort of like or on your desk in the studio. So they're more like, they're definitely very much for the post-production people. It's something you'd have in the studio. Although they did later on, they do have some software versions as well now, and they do also, Cedar has, what is it, like the DNS8 or something that was intended, for like live productions. So like, the professional wrestling, WWE, they would use this Cedar rack unit for the live productions because it's a really, really noisy environment in these sort of live events, and that sort of brings down the background noise to a degree. But there never had ever been anywhere, Cedar or anybody else, a smaller, portable, high quality, baggable one that you could bring with you on your bag, or even really on a cart. I mean, even the stuff they had for live production was not really something you would use even on a sound card for a feature film or a TV series, whatever. So this was the first ever, and still the only product that's ever come out, the Cedar DNS2, that's appropriate for somebody working from the bag or even working from a sound card. And yeah, it's a unique tool with a price point to match. It's about $5,000 New Zealand, and about launched just under 4,000 American, although it's dropped down a few hundred more now. It's about 3.5 or 3.6 thousand American. Yeah, so I guess this first came out like 2-3 years ago, and when I saw the Cedar DNS2, I was like, this is a really cool, exciting new toy thing that's been announced, but it's never something I would actually own as much as I would lust after one, because I just couldn't possibly rationalize to myself, that degree of expense, because I am a pretty rational-minded person, or at least I like to pretend I am, who tends to view the world with a very economics lens, because I'm a bit of an economics nerd too, and so I think about things like opportunity cost or ROI. Opportunity cost is if you spend your money on something, or you spend your time on something, you've now lost out on that opportunity to spend that same money or your same time on something else. So, for instance, if you go out and buy a car, you've now lost that opportunity cost to instead perhaps do a round the world holiday instead. Because that money can't be done on both things. I mean, of course, you could spend money on both going around the world and buying the car, but you've now got a lost opportunity cost in somewhere else that you would have doubled up on that money you're spending. And the same, it applies to any resource. So like your time, for instance, is a valuable resource. So if you choose to go to run this marathon, well, that means you've lost the time to be able to go to see this concert, perhaps, or just one example. And you need to apply it back more to, say, a business sense. If you commit to, say, doing this feature film, this means you're going to be missing out on perhaps other work that you might have chosen to do instead. So that's an example of opportunity cost when it comes to time. And likewise, for when you choose to buy something, you're having opportunity cost here when you could have perhaps bought something else. I mean, maybe I could have bought myself a better recorder. Something like could have bought myself like a 664 perhaps for sound devices, or maybe I could have bought myself a few more channels of related sonics. So yeah, I don't know. or the other term I mentioned, ROI, that stands for return on investment, ROI. So that's another thing. It's always useful to think about whenever you're like planning what to be doing, because you need to view what you're doing here as a business. You are basically employing yourself in a business, and so you need to think about like what is the return on investment you're getting here when you're pouring your own money into your business and buying gear. What is the return on that investment that you'll be getting? I mean, is it better than just keeping it in a bank and getting 3% return or whatever it is per annum? Or potentially you've probably got other returns on investments you could get. Like for instance, maybe you get a better return on investment if you invested in some better wireless or whatever. So you've got to think about, when you buy something, what return are you going to be getting from it? That, will this enable you to do better jobs? Will it enable you to get an extra rental for it? And what is that sort of time span as to how long it will take before the investment of you spending the money gets paid back on? Because, as fantastic as the Cedar DNS2 is, for instance, and it's the only product of its kind in the world, it's not going to be like that forever. I mean, who knows? Maybe at NAB this year, only a few weeks away, Sound Devices might announce a new 6 series that has not just, a bazillion other amazing features, but it has built-in noise reduction that's comparable to quality of Cedar. I mean, I highly, highly doubt that, but 1 year that's going to happen. I mean, we see, for instance, Automix got added to, the 688, and now even the 633 got the Automix, which is a much cheaper recorder. And of course, to say the obvious elephant in the room, even now a few weeks ago, the Zoom F4, a recorder you can pick up for $350 American on sale, has got a form of Automix in it. I mean, it's not as good as Dugan, but yeah, it just shows you that over time, technology advances and gets better and better. So I'm sure it's going to happen at some point in the future, but it's probably a few years away. We're probably going to see these functionalities like Cedar, like rather than a separate standalone feature, it's going to be built into recorders of the futures. I mean, just like how in the past, people might say run a 744 together with a 442 in front, but these days nobody has a separate mixer recorder. Pretty much everybody has a mixer recorder combined into one unit. So that's another example, like how these standalone features will eventually start to get more integrated into other ones. So you got to think about, like, for whatever the lifespan of something is, or the depreciation, or the wear and tear or something. Do you get the return on investment back from it? Yeah, you probably should tell the way I stop and pause and think about that. I managed to trick myself into believing that the Cedar DNS2 qualifies on these various points for me, but I probably was fooling myself. But because basically, I have never ever seen a DNS2 come up for sale second hand, because it's such a niche item and it's still relatively very new as well. Yeah, I just have never seen it come up second hand. So the first time I ever saw it come up second hand, I was like, oh, I want. And I messaged the guy and said, I can't actually afford this right now, but I think within the next week or so, I'm going to have a few more invoices get paid, and then I'm totally going to hit you up and buy it. And that's exactly what I did. And here it is. I'm going to unboxing it after enough of my rambling on about how I managed to fool my mind into thinking this was a smart purchase. Yeah. So that's a box I got shipped in, and this is the box that you actually buy it in. I did actually see this once in person, although I didn't get a chance to actually try it out. I just saw it at a sound industry expo there was in Auckland a year or 2 years ago. Time flies. I think I did record a video about it. I don't remember if I uploaded it yet, because I record so many videos that even a couple of years later I haven't got around to uploading. Anyway. So, it's like a really, really, really big book. It's the size of the box. And so Cedar DNS2, dialogue, noises, suppressor, the DNS that anyone can use anywhere, because that's the whole point about it. It is super portable. From memory, it doesn't actually have any internal battery, so you do have to power it externally. But the thing is, it has a relatively low power requirements, and it runs off DC power, so it will integrate into my bag perfectly with my existing battery distribution unit that I have from the battery cable Technique. So that's the battery distribution unit I have, battery bud 2. Anyway, and I run the whole bag off like a Sony BPU60 battery, which, as I've mentioned in one of my other videos recently, which I will upload, haven't yet, but I will very soon when I get home tonight. The BPU60 battery actually even ran my bag for like a solid 36 hours. If you just turn off everything and do low power setting, it's actually surprising how long a BPU60 battery can run yours. So just got pictures of here it is, and quick start guide in the back. Cool. Anyway, let's check it out and we can see it in person. So, I got a warranty registration card. Wow. Because, I did pick this up second hand. I'm actually the third owner of this, because somebody bought it for a film, I think, and then he used it for that one project, and he sold it to somebody else who used it just a couple of times, and then it got sold to me. So it's still in almost perfectly mint condition. And the warranty registration card hasn't even been filled in yet. Amazing. That's a perk I was not expecting. If it's still even I guess it must be applicable for me. Cool. Safety instructions. Make sure I don't zap myself, I guess. Make sure I'm using a 2-volt power source. Fuse to maximum 1 amp. Make sure it doesn't get exposed to rain. How to clean it. Use a manual. Oh, the actual proper manual, not just a quick start, is supplied online. We've kind of left those days behind where you'd get a big, thick manual. Most manuals are just online. This is the... Hey! Oh, that's curious. So this is if you want to power it from a wall. Oh, look, it even is actually the correct Kiwi plug, seeing as I did actually get it just from people over in Australia. They can actually swap that out easily. So I just realized it actually has a 4-pin XLR connection is what it powers it off, not like a high-rise connection. So I might not actually be able to integrate it into my bag quite as smoothly as I think. I'm going to need to buy the right cable, a high-rise to 4-pin XLR powering, but that's easy to source. I guess for now, sadly, I can only run it when I'm attached to a wall. A mains power on the wall, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of this being super portable. But a minor hiccup on the path to using it. And it's quite nicely firmly kept inside this foam to keep it secure and safe. And here it is. So that's the 4-pin XLR to power it. There we go. Then it has the USB port. What's the USB port? Probably to update it with. And hello there. That's my brother. I'll be finished in a minute. And now, where's other things? So the other ones here is we've got the analog outputs, 2 channels, because it's a 2-channel device, and analog inputs, and then digital in and out, and basically, let me figure this out. So you do have the option to pass through, have come out both the processed and unprocessed one. So it's very, you can, you're doing the noise reduction in the field, but really noise reduction is really something that should stay in the post-production field, in the post-production area. So whenever you're using this, it's really important to still keep an unprocessed track, so that they do have the full ability to go to the original source and fiddle around with it as they might wish to in post-production. But if you are doing something live, or you're doing something that's going to have a very quick turnaround, or maybe they don't really have the full budget to do noise reduction as properly or expertise, maybe it's just like a simple corporate interview, then you're giving them the option to take your noise reduced track and actually use that just in the finished product. But yeah, ideally, you should just do it when you've actually got the time and the proper monitoring tools and to sort of reflect and actually make those noise reduction choices in post. So it does sort of make the Cedar DNS2 a bit of a niche tool, because you're not going to be using it on necessarily very big budget projects, because they'll probably should handle the post properly. You're not going to be using very small budget things because they won't be able to afford this. So yeah, I sort of think like what's appropriate place to use it for. I mean, the other purpose is like, if you want to give like a better feed for the scriptie or director to be able to monitor what's going on, so it's just for the context and the feed you're giving out. I mean, perhaps give them some use the noise reduction on that. But then again, you could actually question if that's actually a good idea. You probably really want the director and others to be fully aware of just like how appropriate or inappropriate the conditions you're recording under it, and not perhaps be lulled into a false sense of security by having this noise reduction applied to it. So yeah, it probably is one of those purchases I've done which I will figure out the right way to be using it as I go along. Yeah, but where was I going? And also, like the noise reduction, it's not some magic pill that solves everything. So if you have, say, some air conditioning hum in the background, that's something that you can, like, that kind of frequency is sort of consistent enough, and it won't be interfering enough with dialogue. Different enough that you can just subtract out without messing around. So that would be something you could like handle well. But then again, if you've got like randomly honking car horns in the background, like that's not going to be something that this is going to work so well with. Anyway, one of these days I'm going to upgrade my recorder from the F18 and I'll be able to use the digital outs and digital ins in this. So yeah, it's something I wish my F18 had, was the digital features. But yeah, so it's got that built into this for the future. And on the front here, you've got the ability to sort of learn what the background is. So first of all, you'll just sort of run this learn function and it sort of analyzes it and sort of understands what the noise is to figure out what to subtract. So that's why you've got this learn one that you need to run at each location you go to. You've got to learn for each channel, and you've also got ability for like how aggressively you want to apply the noise reduction. So you just want to have a very soft touch or much harder sort of hammer at it. Anyway, I'm sort of rambling along here, but I just wanted to do a quick video about me unboxing it and some of my initial thoughts, and I will, I guess, talk more about this when I'm actually using it and give some examples of actually using it. But for now, yeah, it's arrived.